Hello, Bourbon Quest. It's your host, Bourbon Steve. All right. Oh, we got another episode tonight. So, what are we doing? Well, let's talk about store picks. That's what we're doing tonight. A store pick of Maker's Mark Private Select. This one is Maker's Mark Private Selection. This is going to be from Total Wine and More, barrel number 3, stave profile, 6 baked American puree, 3 roasted French Mocha, and 1 toasted French spice. It comes in at 109.9 proof. The date on this is May 2020, so I've obviously had this for a while. Yeah, it's, there's literally 1,001 combinations. That's one of the things I love about the Maker's Mark store picks, is that they're so uniquely different. And with the things going on in the whiskey game, with you got your highly allocated stuff, everything from Buffalo Trace, and then your obviously your BTAC, your Pappy Van Winkle, but even just your limited releases with Four Roses, LE, Yellowstone, which I'm done with them, Blood Oath, Woodford Masters Collection, obviously Elijah Craig, their 3 barrel proofs a year, along with Larceny barrel proofs, Harker, I can't even say it, Parker Heritage. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about like store picks, because man, those are so great. And I'm luckily in an area where we have an abundance of store picks. A lot of great stores around here do a great job. It's hard to support them all, but I try to support as many as I can. And I don't want to try and rank them, but I'll give you, here in the Knoxville area, my top 5 places to pick up great store picks. Not only from things like the Makers, which are always coming out, and that's why I was doing this tonight, is just because pretty much anytime one of the stores that I frequent puts out a Makers or something, I buy it. So they're adding up. I buy them faster than I can drink them. But then you got, any more, I won't even buy a Buffalo Trace unless it's a store pick. Almost same thing for an Eagle Rare. And then, I recently got a store pick of a Weller Antique from Pops here in North Knoxville. But so I want to hear what your comments and thinking is. Do you continually chase the extremely rare, hard to find stuff, BTAC, Pappy, etc.? Granted, we all chase them, and if you can get them at a reasonable price, I ain't paying secondary for those things. They're not worth it. But when you compare those to the great store picks there, whether it be a Maker's, a Buffalo Trace, a George Remus store pick, I mean, a Jack Daniel's store pick, how do you equate and rank those versus the stuff that you really, really have to hunt for? I don't know. I'm gonna tell you right now. We're gonna open this in a minute, but here in my area, I'm gonna give you the top 5, and these are no particular order because I don't want to try and make anybody mad or whatever. But I would say Christie's over off of in East Knoxville. Saban Padel does a great job with all of his store picks. Obviously, your big box store here in Knoxville, Total Wine, they always have a ton of store picks, do a great job as well. McScrooge's does some great store picks, along with Pops in North Knoxville, and then Dixie Lee way out in West Knoxville, close to the Loudoun County line. And you know, the thing about it is they all do great. I will tell you two things that I found out of those top five in my area is, call me a tater, call you whatever you want, but I'm a sucker for a good sticker. And the two stores that do the best job on stickers, Total Wine doesn't because they're so corporate, but it's Dixie Lee does a good job with stickers on their store picks, and so does Christie's. But anyways, I pile up these store picks because number one, I trust those people. They do a great job, and yeah, I'm kind of like almost, well, it's close. I'm still going to want to get a Blood Oath 8, but if I was limited on funds or whatever, I almost would choose one of those 5 stores, store pick of something good, versus chasing some of this other stuff. Anyways, I don't know. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. Let me know what your comments are. Do you have great store picks in your area? I mean, for instance, last year when I did on blind, the Total Wine Russell's store pick beat out the Russell's 13-year-old. And everybody claims about the Russell's 13 from last year. I've heard this year's batch is not as good. It's still good, but I don't. From the reviews I've seen so far, it doesn't compare. And then when you think about that, that's going to be a highly allocated, hard to find bottle, and yet the Total Wine Russell store pick last year beat it out when I did it blind. Granted, they were close, but store picks are great. I mean, I think that's one of the better values in bourbon for, versus allocated stuff and hard to find stuff. Man, find you, granted I've got 5, but find you 2 or 3 stores in your area that do store picks that are consistent with what you like in your profile, and buy those up. Even, besides your Makers and your Buffalo Trace store picks, even some of their kind of more craft distillery store picks, if you trust that store, and a lot of times, if nothing else, most of them, if not all of them, most of them are going to let you try before you buy. So if they've got a store pick and you're, maybe it's something more craft, more off the wall, and like a Makers or something, or even the Makers, more than likely they'll let you try it before you buy it. So try it. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, don't. But support your local stores and their store picks, because they I mean, I've got 5 in my area that do a great job. Oh, that's a cork pot. I should have paused, but no, we'll do it again. Pause for cork pot on a Maker's Private Select. Hell yeah. So I thought I would do these because I've got like probably 5 more in the bunker, because anytime one of my stores do a store pick, I'm more than likely buying it. So on the glass, and it is a cork pot, so we'll do a 2-ounce pour into the infinity bottle. Alright. But you get your 4 Roses store picks at cash strength that are phenomenal. So those are probably some of my big boy favorites that I have. Well, yeah, plenty of. Is any Maker's Private Select, Buffalo Trace store pick, a 4 Roses store pick. I've gotten a 1 or 2 Wild Turkey outside of Russell's. I'm talking like Wild Turkey. What was it? No, it's not Rare Breed. It's Kentucky Spirit store pick. Man, those are all great. All right, so this is a Total Wine Maker's Store Pick from 2020. Like I said, let's see what's going on. Oh man, just the right amount of sweetness and ethanol, cherry, vanilla, caramel, oak, almond. That's terrific on the nose. Yeah, you get plenty of almond, oak, vanilla, caramel, touch of chocolate. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Oh, man, it's like chocolate, mocha, cherry, vanilla, caramel. All in that order. It just rose off of that. That's freaking delicious. Wow. Hadn't had a Maker's open in a while, and it's, like I said, one of those store picks that one of my 5 stores put one out. I'm most likely going to buy it. That is delicious. On the nose. Cheers. Oh man. Almond, chocolate, cherry, vanilla, caramel, spice. That's really amazing. I might, again, my rules are not when I buy it, but when I open it. That will be in contention for Whiskey of the Year. Surprisingly. I mean, I love the Makers and the store picks specifically. That is really, really good. I mean, it's beautiful on the nose, complex. I mean, great proof, or basically 110 proof. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. But I'm a big fan of store picks. Not only of the big boys, your Makers, your Jack, your even, Wild Turkey, Buffalo Trace, obviously. Those are always great, but even some of their more, lower end, I won't say lower end, but more craft distillery picks, whether it be a Blue Note. Obviously, I should have said Knob Creek too. Those are always great. Knob Creek store picks. Jay Madley and Nulu. What are some other? Oh, obviously Old Kirk. What are some other store picks I have back there? But yeah, support your local liquor stores with their store picks, because number one, they make a pretty huge investment in doing those, because they're buying the whole freaking barrel. So if they've got 200 bottles at $50, I mean they got 10 grand into that. So support those store picks. And most, like I said, I'm not saying buy it if you don't like it, but most of the time they're going to let you try it on their store picks before you buy it. Now, maybe not on like an Eagle Rare store pick, because that's going to fly off the shelf before they even put it out there. So, but on the other stuff, most likely you're going to be able to try it. And if you like that store, you like their profile, you like what they're doing, and you like the juice inside, then buy it. I think it's worth it. I think it's one of the hidden gems in whiskey, because everybody's out there chasing the allocated stuff, whether it be Wild Turkey Master's Keep or BTAC or anything Buffalo Trace. yada yada yada. All the Four Roses limited editions, Parker Heritage. The list is extensive, and your chances are slim on all of those. Whereas if you've got stores that you've got a relationship that do great jobs on store picks, you're gonna get some phenomenal stuff. Maybe even some stuff that's better than what I just mentioned. So I guess I love store picks. I mean, it's one of my go-tos. Support your local stores. They do. I mean, at least in my area, they do a great job. I mean, almost too good of a job to where I think they're in competition, because I can't buy them all, but they're almost in competition with each other on who has the best store picks, who has the most, and whatever. But I'm a big fan of store picks, and especially, and I mean, granted, like I said, I bought many store picks from craft distilleries. I tried them, liked them, bought them. Some of them were unique, some of them were different, some of them were extraordinary, and then most all your big boy store picks, whether it be a Maker's or a Buffalo Trace or a Wild Turkey, those are always great. I was trying to think, one thing that I've not seen of the big boys store picks on is Heaven Hill. I've never seen an Evan Williams store pick. I mean, you do have now the Elijah Craig private barrels or whatever. I guess those are store picks, but yeah. Let me know. Leave a comment. Is there any I mean, they got like 5 or 6 brands at Heaven Hill, but I don't think I've ever seen any of them as a single barrel store pick. That's interesting. Huh. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. I mean, I've seen Jim Beam store picks, Jack Daniels store picks, Makers, Wood. Have I seen? No, I don't think I've seen a Woodford. Well, yes, I have. I've seen Woodford. I have seen Woodford store picks. I don't think I've ever seen a Heaven Hill product as a store pick outside of the Elijah Craig barrel proof, and that's just been recent. Even Chattanooga whiskey has single barrel store picks. That's interesting. Out of the big boys, that's one that eludes me is Heaven Hill on a single barrel store pick. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. This is delicious. Whiskey of the year. Well, I'm not saying it is. It won't be. Because of that Joseph Magnus cigar blend. But this is, it will be in contention. This is great. Oh, it's so good. I mean, spice, vanilla, caramel, apricot, cherry, orange. Man, this is so complex. Delicious. I am such a big fan of store picks. That was one of the things they were doing away. Well, they tried to do away or whatever. But we got that resolved back in the spring with Kentucky legislation on, how much you were able to consume and doing a store pick and blah blah blah. Those people in Kentucky are not stupid. They know that bourbon and horses are their money makers, and they weren't about to let that piece of legislation get in the way of, making not only good money but just good community. And the tourism has completely blown up in Kentucky on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, which rightfully so, because it's such a great experience. And Kentucky's a beautiful state, great people. They got that figured out real quick. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. That's delicious. That's one of the better store picks I've had, as a matter of fact. Wow, that's spectacular. Alright, well, it's getting late. I gotta get up early. We're gonna wrap it up. But hey, go support your local stores. Try them before you buy them. Buy their store picks. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and pleased. I know I am. But we're gonna wrap it up. And as always, my wish for you is that all your bourbon quest dreams come true. Haha. That's a wrap, yo. This is fantastic, yo. Woohoo! Woohoo!